Okay. So let's change this to face cam. Boom, there we go. Yeah, I'm just gonna be continuing using Ableton Live. So hopefully the audio is coming in decent here. I think it is. I think I've heard that the MacBook microphone works better than I think I've used other. I forget what it was, but yeah, I think my Ableton Move microphone. I think people said the MacBook mic is better. But yeah, I'm going to be doing some content around the MPC Live. I just feel like there's the Live 3. I feel like there's a lot of very, very exciting things. I mean, I'll just name a few right now during the live stream just to kind of collect my thoughts. So the USB-C audio is huge to me. The fact that it has a clip launcher is huge to me. I won't keep saying huge to me. I'll just name the features. What else? Oh, the built-in microphone and speaker and battery, two of which were in the previous unit. I don't think the previous one had the mic built in. I don't think. The higher RAM, so you're loading things a lot faster. I don't know. I think I've talked a lot on this channel about using less gear and stuff like that. Like I've been kind of on that wave lately, but I think it's okay. I don't know if it is or not. Like I've been making strides with Ableton, and in a way, seeing anything new, no matter what it is, feels a little bit like a distraction. Yes, but I think just watching and just seeing all the different videos that Andy Mack, I think that's his name, put out. I'm sure he's been super, super busy. I just feel like a lot of attention went into this piece of equipment, and I'm intrigued. So I'm going to get one from Zounds for 90-day loan. I'm going to really just not use anything else as much probably during that time period, and like spend some time really learning it. And if it does what I think it does, for me, I feel like that will just be super special, because I've been looking for something to like be a companion to my digital pianos in the house. So I feel like having that in that capacity would be really cool. I also feel like, I mean, I'm sure it's heavy and stuff, but I feel like sometimes when I'm at a cafe like this, I think I could see myself bringing it out and about like this as well. And again, just battery operated. So yeah, I'm not gonna say all in. I'm not all in on anything until I try it out, but I'm gonna use it on loan with the intent or the impression that it was purchased, because I think it's a very distinct difference between buying and getting something. I mean, I know that to be the case for me, at least. Like when I purchase something or approach something as if it were purchased or is going to be purchased, I'm gonna deliberately spend more time like learning it, right? I'm gonna spend time learning this because I do believe that it's something that would be very special. So yeah, just wanted to share that. But I'm gonna go into this view, and I learned something really cool at Ecamm Live recently too, that you're not gonna see this, but when I do screen share like this, and I pull up Ableton as full screen, you're seeing the screen, but there's always like a little small box of like what the live stream is looking like, and that gets in the way for me, right? I always have to move it around. It like blocks a little bit of Ableton. You guys don't see that, only I do. But I found out that you can just, I mean, it's gonna sound so silly or basic, but you can X that out. I can just click the X button and remove it, and it doesn't show up again until I re-maximize Ecamm Live. So it's kind of a big thing, I think, for me. Yeah, okay. So what I usually do when I do these live streams is I'll go into the stream from my phone so I can monitor chat, so I don't need the chat up on here. Yeah, so I'm gonna go do that. So let's go to the live stream here. Okay. So let's go volume all the way down, and let's get back into some Ableton music making. I'm definitely making some strides with this. I have to really say, I get it. Like, there's still things about it that are not fun, right? Like having to navigate sounds the way that I do is not fun for me. I've talked about it many times, but just being able to pull up, like, let me say that, if I order a new project, like if I want to check these sounds out, I would like, okay, whatever. I would like to be able to just do that without having to load it onto a track. Right, so it's loaded on the track, so it needs to be loaded in order to demo it. Like Audition is cool, but Audition doesn't do what I need it to do. I need to know how it's gonna sound when I play the keys, and to have to do two things instead of one thing to go through or go from sound to sound is not enjoyable, but that's okay. This is not about complaining about Ableton. So some of the other cool things, I gotta do some videos on this too. This rank feature is kind of crazy to me. It's very much a big deal. I'm not sure exactly the algorithm, I'm not sure how it works exactly, but this is like the most used sound in whatever category, right? So like if I go to bass, these are now sorted by most used bass, and that's crazy to me because previously they would be sorted by alphabetical order or size or just other things that don't really matter to me too much. There's still certain things here, like I want to be able to, dang, that's dope. Did you really? All right, so let me not abort this thing, but let me just come over here and like show my face. And so I need you to tell me about it. And first of all, I saw your comment on my video the other day, so thanks so much. So you got it. That's incredible. I don't know if you joined the live and heard what I mentioned at the very beginning, but it's sold out currently at Zounds, where I get my stuff from on loan. Let me actually go to it really quick here. So it's on back order until the end of the month, which in a way is kind of like, oh man, but also it's like, all right, well, that's fine. I'll wait till the end of October to get it. It's not although, hang on, is it sold out? It's right here. Maybe, wait, I'm kind of confused. One sec. Oh yeah, there you go. Right, so get it Wednesday, so it's reserved. Yeah. So I'll have to wait, but yeah, tell me about it. Are you an MPC user? Have you used a lot of their gear? Oh, and also I'm not doing the screen share. This is what I meant to do. Do you use the MPCs or other MPCs a lot? I'm curious because I've used the Live 2, the Key 37, Key 61, and the 1. I've had my hands on each of those pieces of gear for very short amounts of time, and I haven't used any of them. I haven't learned any of them enough to be able to like comment and speak intelligently about them. But what I will say is this one just has some stuff on it that just, I don't know, man. Like I just think they did a great job with it. So I'm curious to know if you've like checked it out yet or not. Anyway, let's go back to screen share. Hang on, bass. No, screen share. And go back to Ableton and get to making some more music, right? Here's Beattober as per Tatro. So we should be up here making some tunes. All right, let's see. So something like that. So I think right here. A lot of questions. He said I tried MPC 1 Plus. I was called the 1 Plus a while back before the 3 update, and I didn't like it, but I've been wanting to try it against our bought from Sounds. I think you mean Sounds. That's dope. In a machine. Gotcha. All right, so let's keep this being interactive, I would say. So machine, I got comments on that too. So like I have a Machine Plus, and I've used that again, not like a whole lot, but like my time with the Machine Plus, like the way that you go about making tracks and clips and like the workflow made a lot more sense to me. It was more intuitive to me than my brief time with Akai's products. Um, there are things, you know, about the Machine Plus compared to at least like the Live 3, where you got like the microphone and the speaker and the battery. Like those are major things for me. They really are. I think a lot of people that are investing this type of money on a product, they're probably going to have it connected to better speakers, and they're probably maybe they're not going to use it as a mobile thing or whatever, but like I know for me those are major things. Those are things that are going to, I guess you could say, get out of the way from me making music, right? And I mean, I can go on. Like, I feel as though the Live 3, you know, could be used as like a audio looping machine too. I feel as though with the microphone there, you know, and headphones on, I can just be using my vocals and put some effects on there, and like I could use it in such unique ways that there's really not that many other pieces of gear out there that can do that from what I've seen. It's like, it just seems like, I'm not going to say the perfect piece of equipment or anything, but it just seems like they made so many meaningful changes, and I'm just like, I don't know, I keep saying like it, but I'm just really intrigued, very much intrigued with it. So yeah, that's cool though. All right, I'm gonna go back to this and keep making some music. this, we can do some 6. Go to what projects? Super random songs. All right, so as you can see, we are in a coffee shop right now, and I am doing something that I haven't done. I'm trying to think, what was the piece of gear that I was doing this with a while ago? I think it was like, I don't remember. It was something, maybe it was able to move. And I was just like, oh, it would be cool to just hit the record button and like sample the surroundings. And you can do that in Ableton. Of course you can. You just create a track and it's just, yeah. So let's get back to it. This is pretty cool. And I think whenever I'm just like jumping to random projects and listening to them and seeing what they sound like, and then maybe like creating a second section, and then using the sounds there that are there already, and like just exploring. And I think if something sounds good, then what I could do, just so I don't forget about it, is just do what I just did and tag it to main project. So like these are anything that I think sounds good or great or whatever, right? So anything here for now on. So that's a nice little system, I think. But anyway, let's get back to it. Oh, and also I think I need to remember to do collect all and save when I'm doing these saving. Collect all and save. Well, I guess specifically when I'm doing stuff that's sample based, like this. I'm frozen. All right. Well, just took a while. All right. Anyway, let's I don't know. Let's listen to some of these other projects in here. I made this in Ableton Note, and I don't think I use anything but the phone for this, but I wish I remember. Also, see, this is why right here you got to do collect all and save. Oh, Untitled. Level 7. That's really good. Weird sounds. fun. Thanks for joining. See you later. Have a good weekend, everybody.